You know what hurts more than a diagnosis? When a father with everything thinks his own child will never be anything. Robert Hale, the billionaire everyone in the city feared, had a son the world never saw. Little Michael. 7 years old. Big brown eyes. Silent. Doctors said, autism. Delayed speech. Sensory issues. Robert heard. He will never be like you. So he built him a golden prison. A mansion with soundproof rooms. Therapists on schedule. Expensive toys he never touched. Cameras in every hall. But no real eye contact. No real father. Because Robert was busy. Busy building empires. Busy showing the world he was powerful. Busy telling himself that success was numbers, not people. And every time Michael rocked on the floor, flapping his hands near the big window, the staff would whisper, "Poor boy. Rich father, broken son. Maybe that's why he hides him." They thought the cameras didn't record their voices. But they did. And Robert, sitting in his office, drinking quiet coffee, watched it all. He watched his son spin in circles. He watched him walk past toys and reach for the same worn picture frame. He watched the new maid, Evelyn, enter the room and silently fold laundry near him. He watched. But he never understood. Because to him, Michael was a problem to fix, not a person to learn. One afternoon, storm outside, silence inside, Robert replayed the footage again. This time something was different. Michael wasn't rocking. He wasn't pacing. He was waiting. Evelyn walked in, her shoes still wet from the rain. She wasn't from money. She wasn't polished like the nannies he fired. She was small, careful, eyes that listened. "Hi, sunshine," she whispered. Michael turned. Not past her. At her. Robert leaned forward. Michael touched his ear, then tapped the floor twice. Evelyn nodded like she knew a secret. "Okay. No loud. We talk soft." Who taught her that? How did she know? Robert paused the video, brows furrowed. This maid, this girl who made less in a month than he spent on dinner, just made his son look at her. How? Why didn't he ever do that for him? He hit play again, heartbeat rising. And what he saw next made his chest tighten so hard he had to stand up. Because Michael did something he had never done on any footage before. He pointed. Right at the piano in the corner. The piano no one touched since Robert's late wife, Sophia, died. The staff said the boy never remembered her. But now he was pointing, eyes shining, breathing fast. Evelyn didn't laugh at him. She didn't pull his hand down like the others. She followed it. "Do you want music?" she asked slowly, signing each word with her hands. Michael flapped, excited. A small sound escaped him, raw, real. Robert froze. Where did she learn to sign? Why was his son responding to her? And if a simple maid could reach him in one rainy afternoon, what did that say about the father who never even tried? What else was this maid going to pull out of his son that he had paid thousands to find, and failed? Evelyn hadn't applied to work for a billionaire. She applied because the agency said, special needs kid. Good pay. Long hours. She knew those kids. Her younger brother, John, was autistic too. Poor house. Thin walls. No therapists. But he bloomed when someone finally listened. So when she arrived at the Hale estate and saw how big it was, how quiet it was, how everyone walked like they were in a museum, she understood one thing. This was a rich house with a lonely child. But not everyone liked her. "New girl thinks she's a therapist now," one of the older maids whispered in the kitchen. "She's from the South Side. Probably never even sat at a table like this." Another snickered. The butler, Mr. Daniels, polished the silver and muttered, "Just do your cleaning. The boy doesn't like to be touched." Evelyn smiled, but inside, she burned. Because poor people don't get to talk back in rich houses. That day, after the rain, she found Michael sitting by the piano. He was tracing the leg of it, like he was remembering something. Evelyn sat on the floor beside him, slow, on purpose. "Hey, Michael," she said softly. "Is this Mama's piano?" His fingers stopped. He blinked twice. That was a yes. She had seen that pattern with John. Evelyn opened the piano lid. "Let me know if it's too loud, okay?" She played 3 soft notes. Michael didn't cover his ears. He didn't scream. He leaned in. In the security room, Robert stood behind the guard, arms crossed. "Zoom," he ordered. The guard glanced at him. "Sir, you don't usually watch this long." "Just zoom." They watched Evelyn move from keys to gestures. She tapped once for stop, twice for more. She sang without words, just humming. Michael hummed back, off key, "Beautiful." "Sir," the guard said carefully, "should I remind her the boy isn't to be disturbed?" Robert didn't answer. Because the billionaire was jealous. Jealous of a maid in borrowed shoes. Downstairs, the other staff saw the footage too. "Look at her," one scoffed. "Trying to impress the boss. She'll be gone in a week, like the rest." But Evelyn wasn't trying to impress anyone. She was trying to free a boy trapped in silence. Then Michael did something that made everyone in the control room gasp. He took Evelyn's hand and placed it on his own heart. In that moment, Robert realized, this wasn't luck. This was understanding. And if she understood his son better than he did, she was either a threat to his pride or the miracle he had been paying the wrong people for. That night, instead of leaving for his usual dinner with investors, Robert told the driver to wait. He wanted to meet the maid himself. But if he walked in as the boss, she might freeze. So he did something no one in that house had seen him do in years. He headed toward the playroom quietly, without a suit jacket, ready to see his son not through reports, but with his own eyes. Would the billionaire swallow his pride, or protect it? The playroom lights were low, warm, not harsh like the offices. Evelyn sat cross-legged on the rug, building a line of colored blocks. Red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. Michael was matching her pattern, eyes focused, breathing steady. No stimmying. No meltdown. No fear. Robert stopped at the door. For the first time, he didn't see autism. He saw a boy, working. Evelyn noticed him and quickly stood. "Mr. Hale." "Keep going," he said. "Don't break his rhythm." She sat again, nervous. Michael glanced up at his father, then back at the blocks. He didn't avoid him. He just didn't choose him. That stung. "You've worked with autistic kids before," Robert said, voice even. "Yes, sir." "Where?" "Home. My brother. Public school. Not in places like this." He raised a brow. "So no degree. No certification." "No, sir." The words were polite. But the tone was pure rich versus poor. "You don't belong here. You're guessing with my son." Evelyn didn't flinch. "With respect, sir, your son doesn't need me to be rich to understand him." Robert's jaw tightened. "Doctors said his comprehension is limited," he said. "They said speech may never come." Evelyn smiled sadly. "Doctors see what he can't do yet. I see what he keeps trying to do." "What is that?" "Communicate." She pointed to the pattern. "Most kids this age break the sequence. He doesn't. He likes order. He likes repetition. He notices the piano, the picture frame, the window at 4 p.m. That means he tracks time. That means he remembers. That means he learns." Robert stared at Michael. "But he doesn't talk." "Maybe because no one ever spoke his language." "And what is his language?" Robert challenged. "Silence," she said. "Movement. Pattern. Music. He's not refusing you. You're just not reaching him." Behind Robert, Mr. Daniels cleared his throat. "Sir, if she's overstepping." Evelyn lowered her eyes. Rich voices always tried to shrink poor voices. But Michael surprised them. He crawled toward the picture frame on the shelf. The one with Sophia, laughing at the piano. He held it up to Evelyn. "Ah," she breathed. "You miss Mama." Michael tapped the frame 3 times. Evelyn signed it back, "MAMA." Robert's heart cracked. "How did you know to sign that?" he whispered. Evelyn hesitated. "Because he kept touching his mouth when he saw her picture. That's an M sign in baby sign." "I guessed." "You guessed, right?" "Yes, sir." "On the first try." She nodded. Silence fell. In that silence, Robert had to face the ugliest thought. Maybe it wasn't that Michael couldn't learn. Maybe it was that Robert never stayed long enough to learn him. The intercom crackled. "Mr. Hale, your 8 p.m. investors are waiting." 2 worlds pulled at him, the empire he built, and the son he almost lost before even knowing. Robert looked at his son again. Michael was now lining the blocks in the exact shape of the piano. That wasn't random. That was memory. That was talent. Robert turned off the intercom. "Tell them I'm busy," he said. And in the kitchen, where the staff gossiped, jaws dropped, because the billionaire just chose the quiet room over the boardroom. But if the maid was right, what else had he missed about his son? The next morning, Evelyn came to work with a small, old tablet wrapped in cloth. "Sir," she said at the kitchen doorway, "may I try something new with Michael today?" Mr. Daniels rolled his eyes. "This is a private residence. We don't bring outside devices without clearance." Robert, sipping coffee, glanced up. "Let her." The butler stiffened. The maid smirked. The poor girl got permission from the king. How annoying. Evelyn carried the tablet to the music room where Michael already waited. He always waited there now. Like he knew someone was finally going to speak his language. She sat beside him. "Okay, sunshine. Today we remember Mama together, okay?" She played an old video, Sophia at the piano, hair loose, laughing, the exact piano in front of them. Michael froze. Then his eyes filled. He touched the screen, tapped her face, then tapped the real piano. "Play." Evelyn asked. He nodded so hard his curls bounced. Robert watched from the doorway, unseen. Evelyn played the first line. Michael hummed the second. Offbeat, but correct notes. Robert's breath hitched. He remembers. Evelyn looked up. He doesn't just remember. He mapped it. He's been trying to request this song for weeks. Maybe months. "How?" "You muted the house after Sophia died," she said gently. "You made everything quiet. But he loved her sound. So he searched for it. In the frame. In the piano. In the time she used to play. You thought he was stimmying. He was grieving." The word hit him like a truck. Grieving. His son was grieving too. While he was signing legal papers. Footsteps approached. 2 maids pretended to dust the doorway. One whispered just loud enough, "She's doing all this to get a raise." The other laughed. "Watch. She'll ask to be Michael's special carer. Rich people fall for tears." Evelyn heard. Michael heard too, his body tensed, hands over ears. Robert's eyes went cold. "Both of you," he said without turning. "Downstairs. And remember, wealth without kindness is poverty in disguise." They fled. Evelyn looked at him, surprised. "You defended us," she said. "I should have done it years ago," he replied. "I let people with money speak louder than people with love." He knelt in front of Michael. "Buddy," he whispered, voice shaking, "did you want Mama's song this whole time?" Michael lifted both hands and signed, clumsy but clear. "Mama, play." Robert broke. Right there, billionaire knees on polished floor, tears falling on his son's small hands. "All this time," he choked. "I thought you were trapped." Evelyn smiled through her own tears. "He wasn't trapped, sir. He was waiting." "Waiting for what?" "For you," she said. For someone to see that he's not less. Just different. Evelyn wiped the keys. One more thing, she said. Michael copies rhythms after hearing them once. He remembers patterns. That isn't just autism. That's talent. Robert stared at him, stunned. If that was true, the son he pitied might be gifted. But how could he show that to a world that already called Michael broken? Maybe the father would have to change first, before the world did. A week later, the Hale mansion didn't feel like the same house. No more silent hallways. No more staff whispering about the broken boy. No more locked music room. Robert changed the rules. Anyone who mocks my son or the people helping him, he told the staff, does not work here. Some left. Good. Let cowards leave. He also did something braver. He invited people in. Not reporters. Not investors. Not people who would pretend to care. He invited his sister Emma, who always said, "You never grieved Sophia." He invited Michael's old speech therapist, who once wrote, "Low potential." He even invited the house staff, lined along the wall, to watch. In the center of the room, a small keyboard. Michael. And Evelyn, sitting beside him like a shield. "Michael," Robert said, voice steady but eyes wet, "can you show everyone what you showed Daddy?" Michael looked around, a little overwhelmed. Too many faces. Too much perfume. Evelyn placed a noise-reducing band near him. "We can make it quiet if you want," she whispered. He nodded. She dimmed the lights. She hummed Sophia's song. And Michael played it. Not perfect. Not professional. But clear. Correct. Remembered. He even added 2 notes at the end, like he wanted to finish it his way. Emma covered her mouth. "Rob, he's playing Sophie's song." The therapist blinked hard, embarrassed. Robert couldn't hold it anymore. He walked to his son and, in front of everyone, dropped to his knees. "I am so sorry, Michael," he choked. "I thought you couldn't. So I stopped asking you to. I let money tell me what was possible. I let reports tell me who you were. I never asked you." Tears fell on the keys. Michael watched him, curious. Then the boy did the simplest, most powerful thing. He reached up and wiped his father's tears. Evelyn looked away, giving them privacy. She had done her part. Later, when everyone left, Robert found her in the kitchen washing dishes. "You saved my son," he said. She shook her head. "No, sir. I just showed you where he was. I paid specialists for years. How did a maid do what they couldn't?" "Because I wasn't trying to fix him," she said quietly. "I was trying to meet him." Robert nodded slowly. Rich versus poor had never been about money. It had been about attention. The poor girl paid attention. The rich man didn't. Until now. He handed her an envelope. Full-time developmental aid. Better pay. Classes, if you want. You shouldn't have to stay poor to do what you're good at. Evelyn's eyes filled. "Thank you, sir." That night, Robert turned the cameras off. Not because he didn't trust the maid. Because he finally trusted his son. And as Michael fell asleep to his mother's song, played by his own hands, Robert whispered, "I never saw your potential before, buddy. But I see it now. And I will make sure the whole world sees it too." Have you ever misjudged someone because they were different, quieter, or from another background? What if the person you almost gave up on was actually the one carrying the music all along?